Hey YouTube, back with another impromptu video, and this is a video I've been thinking about doing anyway, just a little sort of fun video. I'm a bit of a sucker for my top 10s and my top 5 lists, and yeah, I've been thinking about doing this one for quite a while. I've had a few drinks today, so I thought I'm in the mood for it, why not just crack on with it now. And basically that is the top 5, or my top 5 memorable, nostalgic video game bosses. Now these are from retro games, and I would absolutely love if we could do a video response. If you guys could do a video response to this, I would absolutely love that, to hear your choices. Again, if not, just leave something down in the comments below. But at first I thought, right, I think I definitely know my top 5, or I had my top 3 and the other 2 I was kind of struggling with. But the more I thought about it, all these other bosses come out of the woodwork, and it was really tricky narrowing this down to 5. I'm going to start again, as I usually do, in chronological order through the systems, and the first one is for the Master System, and that is R-Type. It's not what you might think, the Prawn Geiger, Alien Geiger inspired alien. This one there, it's not that one. It's actually a level and a boss all in one, and that's the level 3, and it's this massive green mothership. And coming from the Sinclair Spectrum onto the Master System and seeing this thing, I was absolutely blown away by it, and I just played this game just to get to that level at the very least. I absolutely loved destroying that thing. You would just come into the front of it, and you would navigate all the way around the ship, below it, shooting all the gun turrets, destroying pieces of it, which would then explode and fall off, and work your way all the way around, just blowing the hell out of it. I absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved that game, and that boss specifically. So that's my first one. Now for the next game, I've moved on to the Super Nintendo, and there's an absolute ton of very memorable, nostalgic video game bosses for this particular platform, as there are for many of the other platforms, but it was really difficult to narrow this one down. But in saying that, this one really did stand out, and it's with a game, arguably the first boss on this is very nostalgic for me as well. This giant turkey alien monstrosity that just crashes through this wall as you're shooting at it, and some of you probably know what I'm going to go on about, but it's not that boss. Excuse me. And that is Super Pro Protector, the Alien Wars, aka Super Contra 3. And the boss that I'm on about is the very Terminator inspired 3rd level boss, I believe it is, that comes crashing through the wall towards the screen. His claws come through, and he just pulls the doors open, and this cyborg head comes out, which is definitely a nod towards the Terminator franchise. And I remember the whole level was brilliant, had lots of little mini sub bosses going all the way through the level. Again, that game is absolutely fantastic. Great level design. But you got to the end of it, and you had these 2 blue and a red kind of organic robot cyborg things that were jumping around, and they would chase you around this one sealed room. And I thought that was the boss at first. Killed them, yay, they're dead. And then the music gets all sinister. I hear this noise, and the claws come through, the doors open up in the back wall, and this huge skull comes peering through. I was like, oh my god. And that, for me, the first time I saw that and played that particular level, just blew me away. That is my second memorable game. Yeah, I've had a few ciders. And I might have a few more. Now the next 2 games is for a system that I never actually owned back in the day, but I did have a lot of time with them, playing it around friends. And I've alluded to these consoles, friends and games in previous episodes. The first boss I remember playing is from Tekken 2. Now, back in the day of being, crumbs, what was I? 18, 17, 18, it was all party. And my mate had this really nice big house. Parents were away, and we just got absolutely trashed there. And yeah, this game, I remember all the party was going on, and then gradually after a while, don't forget this is the PlayStation was brand new back in the day, and we had this separate room which we called the lava lamp room, and we had it all nice and mellow with lots of lava lamps in there all doing their thing. It was all nice and trippy, like a chill out room of sorts. And a few people would go in there and just start playing Tekken 2. Excuse me. And more and more people pile in. And I was one of the first people in there, and just playing this game. The characters in this were fantastic, but getting to the boss, Devil Kazuya, my god, what an awesome, terrifying, spectacular boss he was with his laser beam eyes. It just blew us away when we saw it. He would do the horizontal laser beam shot, and then he would also do the airborne attack where he would jump up in the air and do a diagonal kind of eye strike down at your character, and it was just spectacular to see back then. Obviously it looks very sort of crude and rudimentary by today's standards, but on this little 14, maybe a 21 inch actually, screen that we had in that room, we just played this game religiously, and we were like, right, we've got to defeat that boss, and we did in the end. But Devil Kazuya, the first time we saw him, was absolutely, I thought, spectacular and very intimidating. The next game for the PlayStation, I played this game up on my degree year. Again, I've alluded to this, on my mate Tom's PlayStation. And this is a very famous cinematic game, and it's Metal Gear Solid. Now I could probably, again, similar to Super Pro Protector, pick out any one of these bosses. I mean, the Psycho Mantis fight in this was absolutely unbelievable the first time we played it. You know, it broke that fourth wall. It would access, I remember, the memory card and tell you what games you've been playing. And I think, wasn't the DualShock rumbled? It would give you force feedback on the controller. And it was just such a creative, experimental boss to fight. But it isn't that boss I'm on about. It really was like an interactive movie where you were playing as the action hero. And again, I love Psycho Mantis. Raven was a great boss, and I really liked, oh crumbs, what was she called? What was she called? The sniper. Sniper Wolf? Was it Sniper Wolf? Yeah, maybe. She was awesome. That boss fight was so emotional. Absolutely loved it. But the boss I'm going to go on about now, eventually, after waffling so much, is the final boss fight with Liquid Snake. Now you get to this guy, and he jumps into the Metal Gear, and he's shooting at you in this huge room, and eventually you get him out. You defeat him enough to, was it Metal Gear Rex, or was that the second one? I can't remember. I haven't played it for so long. And you end up fist fighting this guy on the top of the Metal Gear, and it just reminded me of all the 80s action movies of old, you know, with Arnold Schwarzenegger or Sylvester Stallone, where ultimately, through this epic story with all these wonderful cutscenes and bosses and storylines and cutscenes, etc., it all comes down to you and this final boss in a fist fight, and it was brilliant. It was so satisfying, beating the hell out of Liquid Snake, and you would hit him and he would fall off Metal Gear, holding on for dear life, and then flip back up, and eventually would beat him. But I remember that fight was absolutely brilliant. Out of all the creative bosses through the entire game, Kojima just decided to make it real personal, real bare bones and visceral, and it was just down to a fist fight with Solid Snake and Liquid Snake, and it fantastic. And the last game, it's for the N64, and what a game. Regarded by many as the greatest game of all time. Not by me, but at the time I would have definitely agreed with that. We all know what I'm on about. That's The Legend of Zelda or Ocarina of Time. Again, like Metal Gear, after such a huge, epic story, leaping through between times, fighting all these dungeons, fighting all these crazy bosses, you finally get to beat and meet Ganondorf up in this huge tower. And he goes down, and you think, that's that then. And then obviously you got the timer going with this real tense music as you run all the way down the tower, down the stairwell column to escape. And you're thinking, yeah, once I get out of here, it's all going to be finished. And as you're running down this tower, you come to this area with this huge pile of rubble, the music stopped, and out burst Ganondorf in all his glory. And you thought, right, here we go again. Looking all bruised and battered he was. And then all of a sudden he transforms into this huge goblin boar-like monstrosity, and you're like, oh my god, and the lightning's going down, the effects are going, and the music's, even for a MIDI sound chip, is so epic and cinematic. It was just fantastic, and the rest is history. You slay him and that's the end. And there you go. Well, great way to end. That is the 5th most memorable retro video game boss for me. Again, I would love to hear all your comments below, but I would really love a video response to this. If you've got the time, people, I know obviously time is precious, but I'd love to see that. Thanks very much for watching. Cheers, stay safe, and maybe see you again sometime.